Hey, welcome to Players Only, the Game Time edition, an 8-game night, a lot of exciting games. I'm Chris Webber, Isaiah Thomas, and Kevin McHale, the man with the best jump hook ever in the world. That's just my opinion as a student of the game. But let's start off with the marquee game. Anytime you see Golden State play, you know they're the game of the night. That's Klay Thompson. Trade him. He can't shoot. He's in a slump. I don't know why they have this guy on the team. Remember everybody saying that, K-Mac?
Yes, just throw it to me right there, though.
Oh, wait. Oh, he can shoot. But no, Klay really can't shoot that well. And I know he can't pass. And Curry can't pass, even though he's going to get the steal right here. And all you got to do is run, Zeke, because they look for you on this team.
He passed up a layup for a dunk. He said, I don't want this. Let me just hit my man coming down the middle for a dunk. They do it all for the crowd.
Yeah. And talking about doing it for the crowd, I want to give Andre Iguodala a little credit for jumping back in that hot tub time machine, K-Mac.
Look at him. He said, hey, that's what I used to do when I was 25.
Yeah.
Bam.
Getting up like that. And how about this? Pay a little homage to our man, Steve Smith.
Smitty.
Oh, the Steve Smith step back
with the three.
Is that the first time I've ever seen that play? Wow.
But here comes Klay.
That? Well, Klay can't shoot. Remember, we all said that. Everybody wants to get rid of him.
Pull.
Oh, no. Is he a ski shooter, Zeke?
Pull.
Oh, no. But listen, trade the guy again. Remember, he can't shoot. You got to find a different way, a new arena, yeah, that man gets buckets.
Don't leave
Curry,
that man.
He's going to miss the three, but guess what happens when Curry misses the three? Guess who's going to be right there to find it, get it to me, and boom! That's right again. Thompson, 43 points, 18 for 29, 7 for 16 from three-point line. That's right, that's his 12th 40-point game, and our man 3D caught up with him after the game. Ready to stick him up. Tell him what time it is.
3D, he don't even have to stick him up no more. They just know. They just know. They just come in hands up.
Oh, man. You see how excited 3D gets. I still love that. Zeke, again, the bad boys sat down, you and Joe D, two of the best guards ever, best backcourt ever, sat down with the Splash Brothers. What impressed you most about them?
Their basketball IQ, their diligence to making sure that they give the fans and the paying customers a show every single night, and their ability to get open. I mean, every defender in the league, every coach in the league comes in with a game plan, and they're telling you, don't let these guys get open around the three-point line, and they find ways to every single night get open, not only get open, but to get 15, 14 shots off from the three-point line. I think it's amazing and incredible what they do.
I love Deion Sanders, my favorite football player of all time. I don't think he could check them on the face guard them on the floor. The way that they cut the
prime time, I don't know.
No, you think he could?
Prime time on the face guard. Prime time made you just play on the left side of the field.
Prime time too small. They just Klay shoot over the top.
He took the right side of the field away. The coaches would come in and say, don't throw it over there. Prime time over there. We only going to play over here.
But they move so much, though. Their willingness to continually move and cut and not get tired. And if you take it away twice, the third time they move just as hard, they get that shot. Their willingness to work hard for good shots is impressive.
Yes.
36 assists for that team. They're sharing the ball and having fun.
I mean, just have a guy say, I'm going to do what I do best. Shoot, play defense, cut. That's great. Manny Pacquiao in the building. Floyd better not be. Get him, Floyd, stand up.
He wants that second fight. He wants that $50 million.
Yeah, he need the money to go. But Gallinari, you know he can shoot the three. But going in for the dunk right there, K-Mac, I know you've been not surprised, but you've enjoyed the way how hard the Clippers have come out and played early.
Yeah, they've really played well. One of my favorite Clippers when this show is Tobias Harris knocking down shots. I'm going to show one of my favorite Clippers, though. This brings energy. Montrezl Harrell, the guy who just works hard and plays hard. And he outruns everybody, gets the ball, and he's doing the Montrezl Harrell thing, getting the ball in there and just fighting hard. And again, I think we got to post up. Oh, no, this is the long.
This is Curry.
He's not going to shoot that.
Sweet Lou. That's right. This is the Montrezl Harrell play you're talking about. He's been working on his turnaround jumper. He did that for you, K-Mac.
Dream shake. That's the dream shake.
Yeah, and Zeke, Lou Will.
The microwave, too. He heat up like Vinny Johnson.
Oh, Lou Will, you just got christened the name Microwave 2 from a man that played with the microwave and used to get buckets. 27, 9 for 14 for Lou Will. So efficient, 10 points right there. L.A., they get the win on the other side. Kemba Walker, only 13 points tonight. But on the other side of the break, now that Coach Thibodeau is not there, the weight is squarely on the back of Wiggins and Towns. How did they handle it tonight? Did they get their new coach his first win. We'll be back in a second. Game time, players only. They're a little bit under my expectation, 19-21. I thought they'd be probably 5-6 games above 500 at this time, but they're going up against the #2 team, and maybe the biggest surprise for me, one of the biggest surprises in the NBA, the OKC Thunder, especially on the defensive end. I think Coach Donovan has done a great job, but we can't ignore the news of Coach Thibodeau being fired in the regular season. Overall, he's 352 and 246, so he has an above-winning record overall in the NBA. But there in the Wolves, he was under that 500 mark. Let's start with you, Kev. When you understand what's going on with the Timberwolves, did you kind of see this move of the firing of Coach Thibodeau coming, or was it a surprise, or how did you?
I think it all happened at training camp with the whole thing with Butler. That was the start of it. You know, Butler came out right after the season, which I didn't know he knew about, and said, I want to be gone. Like a week after, Butler doesn't fly back with the team after they lose in the playoffs, which is usually a sign of something bad's happening. Because, you know, everybody rides together that last, and you start talking about next year and getting better. He doesn't even come with them. Tells Tibbs he wants to go. And none of that gets out. I'm not even sure how many people inside the organization knew that. Doesn't show up for training camp. Comes in late in training camp, has a practice where he curses out everybody and kind of just, starts going off. And I think that was it right there. I just think at that time, I know if I'm on the team and a guy does that, if I don't say something, I'm surely hoping the coach says, hey, man, come on. This is practice. These are your teammates. We're stopping this thing, man. This is about us together. And I just thought that was it. Now, it took a little longer. It's boiling up, Chris, when you get dropped after you win a game by 22 points. And they won 2 games in a row. So this was going to happen one way or the other. But I think it happened again, like I said, last year with Butler at the end of the playoffs, going all the way up through training camp.
Yeah, so much has been made, and watching TV this week and hearing undertones of journalism, it seems that players have been accused to not say what's on their mind about teammates, and it's in other sports, football mostly. But here, listening to you guys, you've been pretty critical, I think, of good friends, of guys that have been in the same position of you, because it's not personal when we're talking about sports. And both of you guys have been coaches. Both of you, I'm not sure, have been relieved of duties or quit those duties. And, how could he have stopped the bleeding, Zeke? And where do you go from, right now? Right now, you have young Saunders, the coach of the son of Coach Flip Saunders, 32 years old. First of all, I know he's a great basketball mind as much as he's been around the game, but being so young, taking this young team in a new direction, how do you sort through all this if you're in the midst of this storm right now as management for Minnesota Timberwolves?
The first thing, management, as Kevin said, they made a bet on Butler. Tibbs and Butler made a bet together and lost, right? So that relationship got fractured. Once that relationship was fractured, now there's an organizational fracture. And when you have an organizational fracture with management, players, coaches, now somebody's got to bring everybody back together. And normally that's going to be the coach. So, Saunders has a big job ahead of him these next 2 to 3 days. Because right now, these next 2 to 3 days, so much stuff could spin out of control, and it can get out of control quickly.
So, Zeke, I hate to cut you off, but both guys, first of all, I love the fact that his son has a role, and I know, again, he's a basketball mind. But with the lack of experience, with the young team, I'm wondering how that plays, and I'll give you a better example. To me, this was the first time maybe Coach Popovich was in a situation where he had to recruit one of his own free agents. And when you understand maybe people don't look at us like I thought they do on the inside or how they should, maybe you end up losing in that situation. What does he go on right now to say, this is how you hold it together? Is it calling your mentors? Is it talking to the players? If you're him, what do you do with that lack of experience?
He's got to lean on the players. Now it really becomes Towns and Wiggins who really have to steady the ship and bring everybody together. Because Chris and Kevin, you both know this, right? The product and the performance out on the floor, that's what's going to be judged. The X's and O's is not going to be judged as much as the product out on the floor in terms of how you play, how you execute, how hard you play, so forth and so on. And that really comes down to the players. So the only people who are really going to get them out of this situation are the 12 guys that got on the uniform. Right. And when the 12 guys who got on the uniform, Towns and Cat, they got to lead it.
And, you know, you look at the guys. Ryan Saunders is 32 years old. He looks at those guys and say, look, I'm one of you. I mean, let's do this together. You know, and I think the biggest thing you got to do, because I've taken over in the middle of the season a couple times, you got to go from trying to put your stuff in. Because like I said, we were talking about the Zeke earlier. Try to put a whole new offense in yesterday. See how it looks tonight. You got to take Tibbs' stuff, if you're Ryan Saunders, and say, okay, I like these 3 sets. I don't like these sets. And you guys take Tibbs' stuff and use that tonight and slowly bring your stuff in. But I think also if Ryan is smart and is going to talk to you guys, I'm going to go to the top players if I'm him and saying, okay, what sets do you like? When you need a hoop, what do you want me to run from you? Wiggs, when you're not rolling, what gets you rolling? And then I tell you what, I'm running that stuff for my top players. And I'm going to get my top players on board, fighting hard, and then they'll bring everybody with them. But it's tough. I guarantee you Ryan hasn't slept in 2 days since they told him as head coach. His mind's spinning. The game's getting ready to start. He's got 700 things going through his brain. And I told you, Zeke, just hope it doesn't come down to the last 35 seconds in a tie game. Ryan will be like, oh, man, because, you know, you have so much stuff you have to do. But once you do it and you get comfortable with basketball, like I told you, I wanted to go for 2-for-1s late in the game. So, I mean, if there was 38 seconds to go, tie game, I said, guys, we're going to get a shot up in the next 4 or 5 seconds. I mean, we did that in the first quarter. We did that in the second quarter. Did it in the third quarter. We're going to do it in the fourth quarter. Let's get 2 for 1. And so you got to kind of get your style of coaching, put it in there. But I know right now, young guy, I've known him since he's just been a little boy, Ryan. And, I know he's nervous as all get out right now.
I tell you what, he's earned this moment. I'm sure his father and his family made him earn this moment. And he has a guy that's very reliable. When you look at Karl Anthony Towns, he's averaging 30 points on 53% field goal in his last 6 games. So I can see that. And one thing you said, Kevin, I like, when you go to a player and you say, Isaiah, what play do you like for you? You're really giving them responsibility. Because you can't look at me and say, well, Coach, I'm not in my zone. I'm not in the place. I'm expecting you now to be successful every single time at this mark. And so it'll be fun to see how he and this group gets through this game.
So players only, I'm going to throw this out there, even though this is you know, our guy here. We don't want to lose you or anything. But, you know, your history with Minnesota, your history with the family, with the organization. You got Sam Mitchell sitting out there.
I asked him this today. Zeke walking in, I asked him the same, talk to him.
I'm just saying there's a lot of names floating around out there, and you two have experience. Not only do you and Sam have experience, y'all both have been, you know, great executives. Sam was coach of the year. You both know Minnesota. You both know the franchise, everything else. I'm just throwing it out there. I think y'all a good team going back to Minnesota, working with some of those young guys that y'all helped to mentor, so forth and so on.
I just got scared again because they had KG together, Squeed, Cassell.
I mean, he's been
we had to try to beat those guys.
Yeah, so when you talk about experience and making it work and everything else, I mean, he and Sam Mitchell, to me, that's a good look in Minnesota.
I tell you what, Sam would be a great hire for them. I really do. I'm not sure.
You're not running for office?
No.
He's like, I'm not ready to announce.
Hey, Chris, you ain't even in this conversation.
I think he should.
This is just me and you talking about.
Times could work with the big fella. He had black. You know he's tough. They say they're lacking toughness. Wiggins on that wing.
But you know, in Phoenix now, his blood.
You saw them come back from 3-1 that time against Houston. I mean, I'm sorry, against the Clippers.
Oh, that was him.
That was his team. And the point guard that played. Yeah, he drafted Garnett.
Oh, okay.
And also made the area conducive to raise up a young guy like that.
Is he from Minnesota? Is Mikal from Minnesota?
Yeah, he played. Did he play at Minnesota? Big Ten guy.
Oh, yeah, he won championships with the Celtics?
Did he? A couple. He said that 86 team was the greatest you'd ever seen.
And he's got experience?
Yeah.
He knows from.
Wait, we're not in the commercial right
now. He likes the sunshine of Scottsdale.
There you go. Oh, man. But, yeah, so we do have another team that's going to be playing, OKC. We'll talk about them a little bit later. And I think most teams will be really surprised with the way that OKC is playing, especially on the defensive end. That's right. Your steal leaders for this year in the NBA start with Westbrook at number 1, number 2, PG-13. We'll talk about him on the other side. Players only, baby.
And you know that.
Coaches only.
Mikal, Sam Mitchell. Sound like a good fit to me.
Just bring the sunshine.